Good morning, good morning, good morning. So good to be with you again this morning as we journey and continue our journey through the book of Numbers. Today I'm going to take you to chapter 27 and I'm going to read from verse 12 through to verse 17. It reads as follows. One day the Lord said to Moses, "Climb one of the mountains east of the river and look over the land I have given the people of Israel. After you have seen it, you will die like your brother Aaron. For you both rebelled against my instruction in the wilderness of Zin. When the people of Israel rebelled, you failed to demonstrate my holiness to them at the waters. These are the waters of Meribah at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin." Then Moses said to the Lord, "O Lord, you are the God who gives breath to all creatures. Please appoint a new man as leader for the community. Give them someone who will guide them wherever they go and will lead them into battle. So the community of the Lord will not be like sheep without a shepherd." There's something really interesting that's happening at that place in Scripture. Moses has walked with God. Moses is the lawgiver. Moses has one of the most incredible connections, relationship with God. And one of the things he has been doing his entire life is kind of preparing to lead the people out of Egypt and then leading the people towards the promised land. And as he's about to get to the promised land, God says, "You will not go in to the promised land." God says to him in this passage, "You will not go into the promised land." I think to myself, if that was me, I probably would have said something, "But God, can't you look back at all the good things I've done? Can't you look back at my faithfulness? Can't you look back at the price I've paid to serve you and how I've faithfully tried to follow every word that you've said? And maybe I made one or two mistakes, but is there a chance you can overlook that just so that I can enter into the promised land and just see this one thing that I've been looking for my entire life?" That's probably what I would do. But what does Moses do? He does something really interesting. He accepts that fate. He doesn't argue with God about that. His concern is not for himself. His concern is not for what he wants. His concern is for the people. And he says, if I'm going to leave, that's fine. But what about your people? What about these people? He loves the people. He served the people. He doesn't mind not seeing the promised land. He doesn't mind that his time has come to die and to be with the Lord. He is concerned that the people will be like sheep without a shepherd. We learn so much just from that one statement, that one attitude. In our lives, we spend our lives saying, "What about me? This is what I want, and why don't I get to? And has anybody taken my thoughts into consideration? And surely the Lord should bless me, and surely the Lord should see my faithfulness. And God knows that this is what I need in my life." But how many times do we stop and say, what about other people? What about the people around us? Do we live for ourselves or do we live for others? Is it all about just loving ourselves and getting what we want? Or is the Christian journey modeled in the life of Christ as he lays down his life not for himself but for those he loves? Something to think about. How can we this week lay down our lives, pray for, think about, extend grace and gratitude to others? Think not only about ourselves. Go to Philippians chapter 2, first 4 or 5 verses, some great thoughts in that as well. But thinking about others and putting others before ourselves. Be blessed and have a fantastic week.